Since the beginning of the HIV/AIDS epidemic, our scientists have been on the front lines, developing medicines across the antiretroviral drug class spectrum. And today, while our robust portfolio offers a range of therapeutic options, we remain committed to innovation, researching and developing therapies that meet the diverse and evolving needs of people living with HIV. But we are much more than just medicines. At ViiV Healthcare, we listen to the HIV community. We activate innovative programs where there are the greatest disparities. We amplify the voices of people living with HIV in every aspect of our work. And we sustain the movement by championing the leaders, organizations, and communities needed to end the epidemic. Our connection with people living with and affected by HIV helps elevate community-led solutions to some of the biggest challenges, like health disparities that prevent certain populations, especially people of color, from seeking and staying in care. If we're to achieve our mission of leaving no person living with HIV left behind, we must close those gaps in care. But we can't do it alone. So we collaborate with trusted advocates to develop community programs, or we support organizations who are on the ground and doing the work to address specific needs for people living with HIV. Our expertise and our passion go far beyond science, creating a holistic approach to treating and preventing HIV. We're ViiV Healthcare, and we're here until HIV isn't.
Whenever we share our stories with each other, we are doing a political act.
You can't have all this art without dealing with my blackness.
You know, on TV, everything happens quickly and dramatically.
I want to be seen in multitudes without any assumptions like laid onto my body.
Here we are celebrating together. This is exactly what we need to continue the fight.
Creating a world where care is at the center of how we live our lives. That's what Pride should be about.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back from your afternoon sessions. We are almost at the end of this wonderful day, and we hope that you have enjoyed the conference thus far. We realize that a lot of amazing information has been shared with you today, and we want to leave you with a bit more in a different way. Throughout the day, we've heard some of the challenges to reentry, but we want to wrap up the day with a success story. Please allow me to introduce Olympia Chatman, the son of Mark Chatman and Patricia Currington, Chicago's son.
Yes, Lord.
Sing, mama.
From the bottom of my heart
I miss you, mama.
to the depths of my soul.
I miss you,
Yes,
mama.
Lord. Yes, Lord.
Oh, release that scream one more time for me, mama. You scream in heaven, I'll scream down here, all right? It's the apostle, man. Look. I release my screams before heaven. Lord, you gotta help me, cause you know what I'm on now that mama's gone. I release my screams before heaven. Lord, you please bless me, cause you know it feels wrong, mama gone. I release my screams, my hollers, my groans, my moans. I answer the phone like, what y'all on? Talking about mama gone, and I'm so hurt. All I could do was scream at the top of my lungs. But I'm torn, cause you taught me not to cry as long as I am your son. Mama, I don't know what else to do. I did everything to help you through. And after you had that stroke, talking to you, it's like somebody else was you. Mama, I'm through. I can't even breathe, mama. These tears, I can't even see, mama. It just hit me. I will no longer get a chance to see, mama. I look in the mirror and I see daddy, but I see a whole lot of you. And so much shame and humiliation. But you said God got us through. And you know I was a savage and a demon, but you said, son, there's a God in you. Man, my heart's in two. I'm screaming to heaven like, what type of God are you? And there's so much pain that we lived through with your brother James. Before him, Uncle Benny that was killed because he didn't want to give up 99 change. Man, something's gotta change. And you live with Vincent when they put all them hot shots in his veins. Mama, life is not a game, and you was with me when I was in that game. I used to wonder when I was hustling, was all that singing in vain? But it can't be. All them crying, them screams over Riri, and all them prayers over PP. Mama, I know I'm not supposed to worry, but I'm concerned about TT. She ain't doing no good, mama. And every time I talk to her, she thinks she in the hood, mama. And oh my God, rah-rah, she hurt. And Lil Rob here wrecked. And Jawan was trying to hold it together tonight, trying to put it in check. You raised that boy just like me, that boy just like me. Damn, your great-grandson, mama, his birthday is just like me. Yeah. Man, Shantae, they gonna be all right. They know they shook a little bit, but they the ones in the book. They're the Israelites. And all the times in the church singing and praying over your kids at night. And all your children came together, mama, and we still had a fight. Big sis stepped up, though. She tried to hold down the fort, made sure there was food and have no pork. Tajay and your little Tunchi mama, Coco, she's so low. But we believe in God's promise, and you know no matter what, I'ma make them honor Pop Thomas regardless. And when you see Granddaddy and Nana, I know y'all gonna shout. My daddy probably already rejoicing. He gonna shout, church folks know what I'm talking about. And your boys hurt, back, Nitty, Toe, Mellow, Hot Dog, Lil Joe, Lil V, and all your sons in the penitentiary. But me, last but not least, mama, if you hear me cry, please have mercy on me.
Yes, Lord. From the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul. Yes, Lord.
Wow, what an amazing performance. We have had some great artistic performances today. We want to welcome back Peace, who you heard earlier this morning, as well as speak with Olympia, who's here with us today as well. You just heard him just now. And we're going to go ahead and get into some questions for these two artists. So Peace, I want to start off by asking you, healing is a journey. Do you feel as though your music helps you with processing your past and even challenges that you may be facing today?
Yeah, thanks for that question. First of all, I must say absolutely. Music it's music has allowed transformation to happen in so many different spaces throughout the world. But I think the most important place is it's happened for me is inside of my heart and soul. It's allowing me to stand on business, as they say, and I'm just looking at myself with the utmost respect that I have to stand on, like, my integrity. And through my music, that's the journey that I'm on. Being respectful to my body, being respectful to my community, being respectful with my music, to my partners, to my friends, and that's the whole thing right there, right? That creative expression that allows me to be who I truly am, and not the things that I've consumed, and not the things that I've done, but the change.
Absolutely. Thank you. I really love that response. Olympia, we want to kick it over to you for a question. Has your music and writing always been an outlet for you to help you deal with trauma and pain?
I would have to say yes also, and I can also relate to several things Peace was just saying. Creatively, what it does to the soul and to the heart, also to the spirit. I don't want to leave that out, considering I really just started getting deep into music personally when my mother was passing. And from 2017, when she had a stroke, and driving back and forth from where I live now to Chicago to deal with mom. And my mother was head of ministry all my life for Church of God in Christ 6 jurisdiction. So all I know is choir, mama singing, mama gotta go sing, mama go sing. So watching her deteriorate in front of my eyes and, dealing with her demise, ultimately, she was the one that encouraged me with another brother of mine who has passed also. But they were the ones who would encourage me to make music and, son, go do it. And my boy would always be like, man, you sang in the sales with us, man, on the Gary. Man, you got to go make some music, man, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it has ultimately awakened some things, but it was therapeutic for me because it was a chance to write me and my mom's story and my dad and my siblings. And so, yes, music has taken a toll, and it has brought a new aspect of my life to the forefront that I'm very thankful for. So, yes, it has done things for me that I'm very, very grateful for, especially the therapeutic side of it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I love that you mentioned, being able to write that story and tell that story for yourself and for your mother as well. Peace, I want to kick it back to you, for a second. In your song, Breaking News, you dropped a line that read, no way to determine if I'm a live or die, stuck in seg, pen and paper feel like raging water, tears falling because I know my babies miss their father. That line, I hope I did you justice. I quoted you well, but that line was, it was so impactful, and it just really hit. And it was a vulnerable moment as well. Talking about rage, tears, and sadness. Can you just talk about that a little bit more? Like what in your creative process, what inspired you to write that line?
I was sincere with tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly where those bars came from, that exact moment. Instead of punching the wall or doing any more push-ups, I grabbed my pen and I grabbed some paper. I got the writing. And I think that was the only piece, like it was like the only part that I wrote of that song initially. Until I got back to the world. But yeah, I guess I was in that moment pretty vulnerable. It was just me and God. Yeah, and I'm glad that people heard it, and I'm glad that you guys can really take those words and do something with them inside of yourself, because yeah, you can go through some things and not know how to use that energy and release that rage. Man, the music, it allowed for that moment to really help me grow instead of put me down even darker. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love using that opportunity to help you grow. That's so amazing. Olympia, I'm gonna jump back over to you real quick and ask, can you dig a little bit more and share about how creating the tribute to your mom has really helped you process losing her?
Well, in the creation of that piece, it's funny because this brother Peace, you got a song, Breaking News. I also have one called Breaking News. So that's eerily like wow. And in mine, I have a 4-bar set in there where I said, it's crazy. I feel like I'm doing life in the pen. I have nothing in this cell, but I got life with this pen. So I write my mama and share the trauma and tell her, Mama, I wish I was there with you because I feel like I'm doing life in this pen. But even though I feel like I'm dead to you because I can't help you, I know I can help you by giving you life in this pen. And so hearing this brother just speak, what he hearing part of what you just shared that you were quoting of his, I'm getting a bit emotional because I remember I did over 4 years of SIG, and not all at one time, but over my sentence. And I remember one of my joys was my mother's letters and me being able to write her back. And at that time, I found out my father was illiterate, and so I was questioning a lot of things because it's like, man, my dad can't really spell, or he wasn't really great at his articulation of speech. And so when I began to write music and to delve into a lot of those things, and you're trying to share what you can share, there are some emotions that rise up, and there's some things that go through your mind. So the therapy part of it begins to become, it can be troubling if you don't know how to process certain things, but it could also be healing, and it could be very comforting while you're processing certain things. So in that question that you asked me, I feel like in the progression of making music, in the process of it, excuse me, it helped me deal with a lot of the unknown with my mom, because there were questions I would ask, and I never wanted to write something that could offend her. But a lot of the things that I wrote, when she would hear it before she passed, she would cry about, and I would ask her, is it okay to share that? Being homeless, and when I went to Whitney Young my freshman year, nobody knew I was homeless. I would get water in a bucket and a fire hydrant, and I would wash up in the sinks at school. And I was telling my mom about, I was like, are you okay with me sharing a lot of things that look bad or was somewhat shameful because of the way? And she just gave me the seal of approval, like, son, remember this, if you're gonna tell your story, just tell the truth. If some like it, they like it. If they don't, if they find offense to it or whatever, just share the truth. And so that part of it, I'm that much more grateful for, because now I get to, share parts of my life that I always was ashamed of. And being connected so close to my mom and dad, you don't want to share something that people could look at your mother or look at your father and be like, and why y'all raise them like that? Or why would you make those decisions with those children? So it was very important for me to be able to share in that lane of truth in music. And it did something for my heart, and like I said earlier, my spirit. So, yeah.
Great, thank you. I know, in your song, you talked about how you drew strength from your mother, and how she helps you really develop that warrior instinct and mentality. But you saw her, during a vulnerable moment where she had to trust other people, and that there really was a turning point where you recognized that, not only to let life make choices for you, but that you were equipped to make the best choices for your life. Olympia, can you talk and discuss a little bit about how that shift kind of came around for you?
Yeah. Let me just say I'm grateful for you all reaching out to me, accepting me as one of the people that you would even have to present anything and or speak. Because Reentry, being a person who has done 20 years, the key word for me was entry. And when I hear entry, I think of birthing, like you're coming into something. And one of my favorite things I always tell my mom when we was growing up was, I didn't ask to be here, but now that I'm here, I got to make the best of it. And so it's hard when you're dealing with things and you don't know how to necessarily do what you're doing or understand the depth of what you're doing, right? And so for the reentry, and I'm looking at the word re, that's how I look at my life now. Like my dad's favorite quote is, son, it's not how you started, but how you finish. And God wrote your story, so you need to be able to sit with him, get an understanding of your purpose and why you're here and what it is you're supposed to be doing. So, and so saying that, I really focused on my latter days. You know, I'm a 50-year-old man. At one point in my life, half of my life had been in the penitentiary. I've been in the street since I was 12 years old, literally, like literally, if anyone knows me. And so your means of survival is one thing, but then you get to a place in your life where you want to live. And I don't know what living is. I'm learning what living is. It wasn't taught to me as a kid. I was taught to survive. And so with your organization, thank you all again, and the reentry process of it, one of the things I had to do was look at the resources I was given while I was in prison. I had people that was from the church, and you know, we used to have a psychiatrist, or I was in a psychiatry class in Galesburg, and I remember studying and having to deal with your own mind and why assimilation is so key and what you're learning and how you. And so for the reentry, my process, I began to talk to my mom a lot. You know, she was all I had, my dad, my mother, and my siblings, and talk to them about change and why I wanted to be a better person. I want to do better and so on and so forth. And she would encourage me that, son, you know, while you're on this journey, trust God, but never forget what you learned, because it will take you further in life than what somebody else can just say. And so with her demise, ultimately, as I conclude this statement, one of her biggest joys, her smiles came looking at the change. You know, she would see me going into, you know, speaking at men's groups and trying to get into the prisons to speak and help to do something different other than what it is that I've done, and hoping someone will hear your voice and obviously accept the challenge, because it is a challenge to change. And when you're re-entering something, that means you've been there before. And people can remember you from your past, and a lot of us do, and they're not as forgiving. But if I'm going to re-enter, I want to re-enter knowing that I've accepted the change and the challenge. I've made no excuses, and I'm okay with being transparent and naked in front of anybody to share whatever it is they could ever ask me, but also be okay with knowing I lived what I lived, and now I'm trying to learn how to live now instead of just survive. And so I want to thank you guys for that opportunity and even the question, because it means a lot with this reentry program, and I'm just hoping everyone is being blessed while they're here today.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. Peace, I'm going to throw it back to you for a question from our audience. And can you give advice to how someone that has experienced incarceration can tap into artistic expression as an alternative to poor decisions?
Yeah, for sure. I would have to say, find your niche. Find what you good at, right? Because you want to like whatever you create. You know, it don't matter what nobody else say about what you're making or what you're creating. You want to like whatever you're creating, and you want whatever you're creating to be valid. You know, valid upon you. You don't want to play a guitar and you better at playing the harmonica. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to rap and you better at drawing. So find whatever you're best at expressing, or whatever way you're best at expressing, and using that tunnel to find that vision. And once you've tunneled in and you locked in, when you get to the end of it, it's real bright. And I'm seeing it now. I can't speak all for it, but I'm seeing it now. That the picture, it widens. But we gotta lock in first. So lock in with yourself. Figure out what you're good at, figure out what you love about yourself. And it's gonna come out. That's for sure.
Thank you. Well, it was like super dope to be with you guys today. So amazing. Both of your pieces were so amazing today. And I just want to thank you again, Peace and Olympia, for sharing a part of your creative process, as well as a part of your stories and your willingness to share with all of our attendees today. So definitely appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay, so we saw two artistic expressions today by Peace and Olympia. I myself have recently worked on the challenges that artists face, especially around rap lyrics, as a part of my doctoral dissertation. As a result, I was involved in a recent feature documentary, As We Speak, which debuted at the 2024 Sundance Film Festival in the documentary category. So we're going to show you a quick trailer for the documentary, and I encourage all of you, if you enjoyed or were inspired by Peace and Olympia, to also take time to watch the full documentary on Paramount+.
The conditions shape the culture, then they focus on the symptoms. Make a profit off, make a mockery of, then lock you up for lyrics.
Rap lyrics are playing an increasingly prominent role in criminal cases.
Artists say the current law violates the First Amendment right to freedom, igniting a national debate among attorneys.
These trials affect rap artists and typically stem from racial prejudice.
The criminalization of hip-hop is not new, it's an old tactic.
But I'm storytelling in a song. You gonna use that against me?
Before we proceed, I want to thank our sponsors again, Vive Healthcare, IPHA, and HIV Care Connect. At this time, I would like to welcome Michael Gaines from IDPH, who will present the Community Reentry Champion Award, which was open for community nominations and selected by a panel of experts in reentry reform and HIV/AIDS advocacy.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you're enjoying the conference thus far. My name is Michael Gaines, and I am the Correction Coordinator with the Illinois Department of Public Health. At each reentry conference, we have presented the Community Reentry Champion Award. This Community Reentry Champion Award recognizes exemplary individuals or organizations in Illinois who have made significant contributions to the reentry space and for formerly incarcerated individuals, with particularly emphasizing on the innovative programs, advocacy, research, direct services, HIV prevention efforts. The Community Reentry Champion Award was first given in 2017, and I was the first recipient of this award. I personally know the gratitude I have felt to have recognized this award and always excited to present it to others. This year, we opened up the award to the community nomination, and there was many individuals nominated this year that have done amazing work. This year's award recipients received, this year's award recipients and review panel selected and have shown exemplary drive to push the reentry space forward. Our first recipient, Nicholas Macaulay Crayton. Nicholas is a career and readiness and reentry manager at Defy Ventures. He holds a master's degree in theology. He is an author, a motivational speaker, social enterprise, and mentor. Nicholas recently returned home after 20 years of incarceration. He was featured in WTTW Firsthand documentary on reentry. He has used education as a key to unlock his potential while incarcerated. He is the author of several books, one which is The Readiness of Analysts. As the career of Readiness Reentry Program Manager and Defy Venture, Nicholas works with reentry release participants to do barrier removals and case management to ensure they are connected to meaningful employment and virtual services, especially those around their mental health and well-being. Nicholas provides us a quote: "If you need to really live, then you must sincerely help those with our scopes of reach. Be more compassionate today than you were yesterday." Congratulations, Nicholas. Our next recipient, Gregory Chambers. Gregory Chambers is the Director of Policy at the Illinois Coalition to End Permanent Punishment. Gregory innovative approaches to reentry and removing sanitary boundaries have led to the development of new solutions and strategy that have positively impacted the lives of many returning citizens. Working for Live Free Illinois, Gregory led a campaign for Live Free Chicago to bring independent monitoring to county jails to create a transparent inspection process that would hold county jails administrators accountable for the conditions of its county jails and the treatment of its detainees. Gregory's strong advocacy efforts and leadership has been instrumental in raising awareness of permanent punishment laws. Under Gregory's leadership as Director of Policy of Illinois Coalition to End Permanent Punishment, he's led efforts to remove language from the Illinois Probate Act so that people with felony convictions could act as executors over their family members' estates. Gregory has consistently shown dedication to supporting individuals in their reentry journey, providing resources, guidance to help individuals successfully reintegrate back into society. Gregory has also provided us a statement. I but a small notch on this wheel of criminal justice reform. I accept this award with great humility on behalf of all those in this criminal justice reform communities who work tirelessly to ensure that reentry residents have a fair chance to begin and restoring a useful citizenship by bringing an end to permanent punishment. We can ensure that this is possible. In the words of Coretta Scott King, the greatest of its community is most accuracy measured by the compassion action of its members. Congratulations to Nicholas and Gregory. Thank you both for your hard work and continued drive over years. These awards are certainly well deserved. I also want to thank Public Health Institute Metropolitan Chicago for allowing me to present this award again this year. Back to you, Dr. Daniels.
Thank you, Michael, and congratulations to this year's recipients. Each of you are so deserving, and it is an honor to recognize both of you. We often think about incarceration as something only experienced by individuals behind bars, but millions of people leave correctional facilities every year. These individuals all have families, children, and are returning to communities that are in serious need of reentry resources and wraparound supports. This is inclusive of critical health-related needs. Studies show today about 14.5% of men and 31% of women in jails have a serious mental health illness compared to 3.2% and 4.9% respectively in the general population. Incarcerated people suffer a greater burden of illness than the general population due to the widespread prevalence of communicable diseases such as HIV, hepatitis C, syphilis, non-communicable diseases, for example, hypertension, cancers, asthma, and mental health and substance use disorder. For example, at least 10% of incarcerated people are infected with hepatitis C, which has a 1% prevalence in the general population. People leaving jail and prison are 3 to 6 times likelier than others to suffer from mental illness, studies show, and 20% of ex-offenders with mental illness become homeless. Also, people who were homeless after jail or prison stays are 7 times likelier to reoffend during the first month of release. People who can't get their mental health medication likely won't stay housed. Our call of action for you is for you to recognize the holistic, physical, health, and wellness needs, the HIV testing and prevention, and the mental health needs as a part of how we need to engage justice-impacted individuals. Based on your takeaways from today, please bring the knowledge you've gained today back to your work. Given our work and knowledge that has been shared today, I would like for everyone to just share in a poll, what type of future headlines would you like to see around the Illinois reentry space? So while all of you are answering the polls, we've officially made it to the end of a jam-packed day. At this time, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your participation in today's conference. Your comments, your questions, and curiosity really helped to fuel today's event. Today has been so special for a number of reasons. The ability to learn amongst colleagues, to meet new people, learn new information, and have our perspective shifted has truly been a privilege. Sometimes being in conferences all day, you ask, what's the point? But if you feel anything like me, you are leaving more hopeful and solution-oriented than you came. Our hope is that you have some needed information and tools that you can take back to your spheres of influence. So what's next? Let's look at the responses from the poll as well as ponder on some quotes shared from our speakers today. So, overdose prevention sites save lives as a future news headline in the reentry space. I really love that one. Thank you so much. Strengthening community collaborations, working in rural communities, expanding housing grants that support reentry programming. Love that headline. Funding collaboration across systems and orgs. Recidivism rates continue to decline in Chicago communities. Let's see how they make that happen. All right. Illinois closes multiple prisons and redirect funds to reentry services. I love that one. Absolutely. Thank you. To share a quote from one of our artists today. In the middle of the storm, you have to know that you are special. And that quote was taken from Peace Coleman. I want to, again, thank all of our presenters. I want to also make sure that everyone visits our LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Share some of those amazing quotes on our social media outlets. Again, I want to thank all of our presenters, our panelists, our speakers, moderators, and all of our volunteers. This conference would not have been possible without each of you. I would also like to acknowledge a few key partners and our sponsors who made today the amazing day that it was. AV Chicago, who has been our production team and website designer. Thank you so much. Amazing job. To this year's sponsors, Vive Healthcare, HIV Care Connect, and Illinois Public Health Association, thank you. To learn more about each of these organizations, please visit the supporters tab on the conference website and click their logos, which will redirect you to their respective websites. To the Illinois Department of Public Health, who has been a longtime supporter and partner of this work, thank you so much. There is absolutely no I in team, so I would also like to thank the PHIMC team for their assistance leading up to today, which includes our CEO, Karen Crayton, who allows all of this creativity to express our vision for this annual conference. Cynthia Lee, our amazing project coordinator, Royanne Phillips, our the communications director, Katie Moore, director of systems transformation, Madeline Benars, our communications coordinator, and our new reentry manager, Brittany Sprouls, who jumped right into planning. And to each one of our volunteers, thank you. Year after year, this team continues to work so hard and their creative abilities and brilliant minds. And I'm just truly grateful, just so thankful. Just a few final housekeeping items as we wrap up. So on your screen, you should be seeing a QR code. Using your phone, if you could just scan that QR code to pull up the overall conference survey. You can also click the link in the chat if you'd like to complete it from your computer. We use these evaluation forms to continue to make these conference experiences worthwhile and ones that you will enjoy. The survey will close in 3 business days from now, so that will be on Tuesday, March 19th. To those of you who registered for CEs, please note that you will be awarded CEs via email to the email address indicated on our registration form in the next 4 to 6 weeks. If you're not sure if you requested CEs in your registration, please email us. You must also complete the appropriate evaluation form from both the breakout rooms you attended and the overall conference evaluation for a total of 3 completed evaluations. We hope that you will join PHIMC for all upcoming events. You can keep up with PHIMC by signing up for our newsletter or following us on social media at PHIMC News. As I stated earlier, if you heard something today that was profound, insightful, or new to you, please share it on social media using the hashtag Illinois Reentry. Our team will be sure to share your post. We definitely hope that you will consider attending future conferences, workshops, and learning opportunities so that we can further explore ways for impactful partnership. Partners like you all make all of the work that we do possible. Well, this officially concludes PHIMC's 2024 Reentry Conference. Until next time, be safe, be well, and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.